is Journey Through Miro, and I am Nala Moore, and these are my boys. Say hello, boys.
Hello, boys.
Konnichiwa!
And they will now introduce themselves, starting with my fiance, on whatever side he may be.
I'm on sides of everything. Hello, I'm fiance, also known as Steven the Soul on TikTok. Um, Lone Jedi 100 here on YouTube. Y'all probably seen it. Various things, various other places, as I've quasi-linked through my various means of what I just said. You could find me at. I have a Patreon. Could use people there. I have a Redbubble that doesn't give me hardly anything. I have a book out on Amazon that gives me something. I also have a D&D game that will hopefully be returning Saturday. We'll see. We'll see. And I play Yip Motel. Come on, road. Also multi-classed into Draconic, into Wild Magic Sorcerer. But, you know. Raging alcoholic. Yep, not me.
Are you sure about that?
I'm
kidding. Well, of course, I am the Black Doctor, also known as the Black Husband, and you can find me on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Patreon, etc., etc. And I play Balgroth the Dark, or Balgroth the Undead, or Balgroth the Undead. Not husband anymore because his wife and his unborn child got killed. So, yeah. I'm basically the makeshift dad of the group and also the most powerful and responsible one.
Hola, soy Dale. En los sitios de red TikTok, Twitter o X y Instagram me llamo Dale Hitsu.
Señor.
En este lugar soy el mago extraordinario Isaiah Hager.
Señor, no. En inglés, por favor.
The first time you said your name in Spanish, my immediate thoughts went to Pitbull.
Sí.
Dale.
Dale.
Oh, that's terrible.
And that's how Dale faded into obscurity by choosing to only speak Spanish for the rest of his days.
Sí. Vámonos al biblioteca.
Okay. Who can give me a recap of last session?
In English.
En
in
próxima sesión.
In
Okay,
English,
we get it.
please.
Vamos a Ciudad de Redshare.
Okay, we get it. You haven't angered the Duolingos lately.
Que están ocurrido.
Oh my gosh.
Por ejemplo, Jeremiah.
Okay, the bit's dead.
Se muere. Está muerte.
So we returned to Retcher. Yip Yap
Mm-hmm.
drank. Yip Yap made a deal with Apostle to get a discount. Yip Yap is now a multi-raced into guinea pig. Threatened a dwarf. Oh yeah, we had a little super mini adventure with Yip Yap and Isaiah, trying to figure things out. There was a glowing pool. The fountain was glowing. Not much more happened that I don't actually remember what happened. Oh. That's all I remember that happened last time.
No podremos saber el misterio, desafortunadamente.
And I think I passed out, wasn't
I don't know. I don't think he passed out.
He was wasted. Too many cervezas.
Yes.
Well, technically, I'm undead, so can I get drunk?
Dale, is this you trying to repair your race relations? No. Uh,
Okay. So
Well,
we start in the morning.
build some bridges real quick.
Y'all had just slept. You woke up to the unbearable tortures of the curses that are forced upon you in this town. Isaiah and Yip Yap had a conversation with Apostle, and they talked about what Yip Yap saw the night prior and decided to go investigating, I believe. But they wanted to wait for Balgroth before going out on a side quest of sorts. And as for Balgroth,
Yep.
you did sleep soundly through the night. Although, as you said before, you don't really sleep, as it were, anymore. You rest, and you gain stuff back. But you are aware. And with this awareness comes a blur between visions of dreams and the actual reality that is acting out around you. Which leads me to ask you to roll for perception. This is a bit of a backstep, so this is still kind of nighttime.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Okay.
Be gentle.
I'm half tempted to say if Fossil didn't come up last session, Fossil's is just in the meantime that we've been doing stuff and he's been not with us. Fossil has just been watching over him
Okay.
He's
So,
on his head.
on your chest, watching like a cat.
in your resting state, you hear scurrying, an awful scratching, scurrying in the walls. And for a moment, it draws closer as you realize it's not coming from within your dreams, and it is the reality around you. And your eyes don't really open, but activate, I guess.
Yeah.
And you look around the room. You see Fossil on your chest. And this leads you to either you could investigate, or you could ignore it. It doesn't sound that close, and it could just be some wild animal outside.
I investigate.
Okay, can you roll investigation?
I shall roll investigating.
Okay. The first place you look, after carefully putting Fossil down, is your bag, your personal belongings. Everything seems in place until something isn't. You check the bedside table in a very short panic before a very angering truth settles in you that your pearl is gone, and so is the picture of your wife.
I wish I was a barbarian right now because Valgraf would have immediately went into a barbarian rage. He starts hurriedly just sort of not necessarily breaking things, searching for it, but you could, for anyone, an outside perspective from anyone outside of the room, it would feel like this entire place is getting destroyed as he searches here, there, and everywhere for the pearl in the picture.
Oh, me whenever something goes missing.
And we cut to Yip Yap and Isaiah, who are downstairs in the tavern, who have been waiting for Balgroth to awaken.
Alrighty. Well, so we're just like chilling, waiting for Balgroth to wake up.
Yeah, that's what you were doing. And now there's this loud. Oh, also, Balgroth, very quickly.
Do I still have a headache? Is it still that day?
Yes, it's still that day. On that, Balgroth, can you roll a d10 and a d6 for me?
A D10 and a D6?
Yep, and then y'all can continue on as I work stuff out.
Yip Yap is gonna take a slug of the wild magic one. He only has like one pocket for that he puts drinks in. He has like he's wearing like a partial hoodie basically that he just like cropped, and it happened to be one of those kind of outfits that has like the inside breast pocket, and he's just got them all randomly arranged in there.
Okay. To those rolls, Balgroth, as you look around, you start to hear this sort of like mumbling in your head. And it's not a voice you recognize. It's not Gary. It's not the Tellurian. It's a cacophony of just being like, just as if you were in a crowded area and hearing snippets of conversation. Just some people going, I don't really like that color. Or someone else saying, the sky doesn't look very good today. Very hushed tones over top of each other, kind of filling up your mind and making it hard to think.
Oh my! What? Why are you talking to me? What? I don't really care if that's chartreuse. I think it's more of a blue. I don't really care. Where is my pearl? And he sort of starts screaming, just
Okay.
avidly screaming.
SpongeBob, I've lost pearl.
SpongeBob, my boy.
SpongeBob, me boy.
SpongeBob, me boy, where is me lost pearl? He sort of falls to his knees in sensory overload and just screams in his room.
Oh, okay, Isaiah and Yip Yap, you hear this.
Oh, yeah.
Yip Yap.
That's so loud. Do you think he was... Is this hungover on his part, or do you think he had stuff stolen too?
You see a golden flicker from under Yip Yap's hood, and his eyes are now in Yip Yap's. No, in Fossil's. As he's just looking around, and Yip Yap is just narrating what he's seeing. Like, he's pulling out the drawer. Oh, that's a lot of knickknacks. Is that a book of... I can't read, anyways. Yeah, it looks like he's looking for something, and he's not happy.
Ooh. Well, perhaps we should... I don't even know what we should do at this point.
Okay. We should wait here.
We're pretty sure the rat took it, right? Yeah.
And Foxhill is gonna kind of cautiously just pad up to you, Balgroth, tap you on the boot, and bamf out of there. And he's just gonna bamf on top of Yip Yap's head.
Okay.
Okay.
So basically, he comes up timidly, does a there, and disappears.
He just looks at the now, I guess, puff of smoke. You have abandoned me in my time of need. I will never forgive this.
Oh no!
All right, Knuckles.
It's like
on
like Blard and
Fossil's-
Son.
On Fossil's screen, adoptive granddad will remember this.
It's like Blard and Son. I will never forgive this.
I'm not mad, Fossil. I'm just disappointed.
So, do y'all go to check on Balgroth, or does Balgroth come downstairs, or how are you playing out?
I'm gonna just wait for him to come down.
Okay.
Yeah, while we're waiting,
Buddy.
Yip. While we're waiting, Yip did drink from the wild magic flask.
Roll a D100.
I did.
You
Okay,
got an
hold
80,
on.
I think. Yeah, you got an 80.
80.
This aggressive hair of the dog.
That implies Yip Yap stops drinking.
Yip Yap, after you finish drinking this sip, the air around you starts to shimmer and sparkle a small bit before about 2 feet above your head, in a 10-foot, in about a 5-foot radius, little pink butterflies and flower petals kind of bounce around you.
Ooh.
Yep.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Balgroff, quiet down, please.
I literally just burst out of the door in a in an angry rage and just starts, huffing down the stairs.
Okay. You huff down the stairs. You see Isaiah and Yip Yap down the stairs. Apostle is kind of against his counter and has his head in his paws as he's kind of rubbing his temples and face at the same time.
I point to him and I say, "You, donde está my stuff?"
So much
He
Spanish.
slowly looks up and kind of has this look of kind of a mixture of embarrassment and annoyance before rubbing his paw over his face. You too? I'm sorry. I don't know what's gotten in, but I'll find your stuff, I promise. Just can you quiet down a little bit, please?
Steam leaves his nose as his in a huge frustrated sigh as he lowers his tone an octave.
Roll intimidation if you want
Yeah.
to try to intimidate him.
It's
Um,
not trying to intimidate him, but
and-
it's more frustrated.
When you say lower an octave, you're talking deeper to him.
not to be a music
Yes.
nerd here, but lowering an
I
octave
know.
doesn't mean anything about volume. That just means you're getting deeper.
That's the point.
Yeah, I see.
Okay.
Kind of tough.
Just making sure it's an informed decision.
Yes.
Apostle kind of waves a paw at you, nodding as he walks into his back room and shuts the pantry door.
I look to the both of you. What's his problem?
Wow. What do I look
Apostles?
like? It's Mark?
I don't. His rat friend is, I'm pretty sure, robbing us.
I'm gonna kill
Oh,
him.
oh yeah. Trinkets. Not Trinket. That's not the name. I don't know how I know that word. Token is in a weird mood and taking things.
Token is she.
Yeah, she is. This was established last episode.
That's what I
And
thought.
Yep gets a migraine.
You already have one.
I don't know, maybe it's
Oh man, double migraine.
something.
If I end up losing that picture and that pearl, something's going to die.
Is it you? Do you need the pearl to live?
No. But like I said, someone is going to die.
Very good, Sparrow.
Well, do you have any way of locating these things?
Unfortunately, I don't. I heard a scurry, and then suddenly my trinkets are gone.
My trinkets.
My baubles.
Ooh, my treat.
Dare I say my
treasure.
doohickeys are gone.
Mike, we're gone. But not even the word. Well, not just the word. That's gone too.
It was a fae.
If you get that reference, you get a cookie. Nah, it's okay. It's a Kingdom Hearts 2 reference, don't worry.
Okay. What kind of person doesn't know a Kingdom Hearts reference? I never played
Exactly.
that.
Exactly. Philistines.
A king who's dumb?
Anyway.
Well,
Have
I
you guys
don't have any way to go about finding these things because the thing that I used to find things was broken by the one that stole our things. So,
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
bit ironic, isn't it?
No, I just think you're having a terrible day.
I am.
So, what are we going to do now?
Well, we have several days to kill before this caravan comes. May as well make ourselves comfortable and see if we can find that rodent,
I agree.
that hairless squirrel.
If I could have seen it already, I would have marked it already as my quarry and could track it. But I haven't seen it.
Token's not hairless, guys.
What?
Token? We're looking for Token, right?
Yes.
Well, we're looking for where Token put our things.
Oh, okay. I couldn't hear you over the sound of my double migraine.
Balgroth, you hear in your head more ramblings. Things like, weather is not trivial, pancakes with ketchup. Patricia loves the sound of nails. Until you finally hear Gary say, I can't take it anymore! And he just, something in your head shuts down for a second, like you're a computer rebooting, and then all the voices are gone.
I'm free.
Free of what?
And then you hear Gary say, that was so annoying. It's such a good thing we don't have to deal with that all the time, right?
What are you free of?
Tellurian, dang it. Nothing. Just nothing. Just know the bunch of the people here in Retcher are freaks.
If that's how you're
When
going
you
to
say
interpret that.
freaks,
Sure.
Balgroth, is this something I should be terrified about or intrigued by?
He takes a step back.
And a smash cut to the episode in the past when he tried to rizz up the farm tiefling.
I was under a curse then. Had I not been cursed, I'm sure it would have gone a lot better.
Had you not been cursed, you still would have pursued, huh?
Yeah,
Had I
you
not
still
been
would have been a
cursed, I would
simp
have
anyway.
succeeded. Listen, I don't like
You
to
still would have
brag,
been a
but
simp
I
anyway.
actually have a non-negative charisma modifier. So, saying.
A non-negative charisma modifier. It's just 0, dude.
You don't know that.
So what are y'all going to do?
Well, I guess today I'm just going to try to research through this migraine because there's nothing in particular to do.
Well, there. Have
Do
you
you want
guys
to go
checked
rat
out
hunting, Balgroth?
Yes. I was going to say if there were anything on the billboard that we saw the last time we were here, that might have been fun.
I suppose.
Or I could go rat hunting because that's what I really want to do.
I don't know if you clomping around the back of the inn is the best idea right now.
Whatever. And Balgroth just begins to storm out of the inn to go look for the billboard.
Okay. As you leave the inn, you see it's not early in the morning, but it's still pretty morning time. So there's not a lot of people out yet. There's a few people on morning strolls, maybe 1 or 2 people going to their jobs that aren't also their homes. You see that the town hall is still under construction, and where the billboard of like little quests and things had been in front of that building, it is now gone. And in its place is a big pile of wood planks.
Of what?
Wood planks.
Wooden planks.
Oh.
Ah,
Balgroth, it appears your idea was not programmed into the story. I joke.
well then, I turn to him. What do you suggest I do to occupy my time? Because if I don't entertain myself, you are.
Well, you did say there were quite a few freaks in there.
True.
Control yourself, Balgroth. What do you do when you're not tracking down evil witches? Do you train your martial skills? Do you pray all day? What do you do when you're not seeking vengeance?
All the above. Like all the above.
You pray to not seek vengeance.
No,
All
I
day.
pray to give me enemies to train my hands for vengeance.
Lord, I would never pray that a mofo would, but if they must, may they do it when I'm around.
The Tylurian who terraforms my hands for war.
Yes.
Well, perhaps we can investigate if there's still that library around. The private one.
True. They might have some pretty interesting spells.
Yes. Or factoids of note could be useful.
Anything about the Tylurian or Sione or any other places that we're going to end up visiting.
Exactly. Yip Yap, would you like to come along?
What? Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Did I make a deal with the
Words?
guy Apostle for a whole bottle of was it the wine?
You agreed to taste it if you liked it. You
I
could get
liked
it for
it, so I
half.
bought it.
You could get it for half, and also indentured servitude.
Right. Which one was it though? It was a full bottle of something. Anyways, Yip Yap's nursing that. And so he's like, oh, yeah, I'll tag along.
It's down here. Which one did I say it was?
I have it listed as Yip Yap cuts a deal to get nice liquor cheap in exchange for being a potion tester indefinitely.
Mm-hmm.
That would be an amazing streaming service description for last episode.
Pretty much.
Yes.
I think you
have great summary skills there.
I try.
Well, you tried very well there.
I think you agree. I think you took the Equestria liquor.
I knew it had something either to do with water or My Little Pony from the way that it was described.
I took the one that you didn't describe as being like salty.
That was sea wine.
There it is.
Yeah.
Which wasn't even wine. There it is.
Yeah. Anyways. That's just flavor text. Yip Yap's tagging along. We can move.
Flavor text.
So
they call it sea wine because people are complaining that it was an actual wine.
Flavor.
So yeah, I guess we're going to the mayor's house or wherever that library we looked at one time was.
I think it was at the mayor's house.
Okay. You head there. It is under construction, as you can see. But the front door is not obstructed.
Is not obstructed.
Nope.
Then I guess we'll go in.
Nice.
What if we obstructed it?
So you walk through. You remember it being. I'm sorry, I didn't hear if you asked a question or not.
I was just joking to them of what if we obstructed it.
You walk inside and you see, as you remember, it's not a very big building. The interior there's not much going on. There's sort of just this big open foyer where a table once was, but now the whole place seems to be just construction. And you head towards the back office where you remember Woofle, the mayor, also having as his bedroom. When you walk inside, all you see is a female orc sitting alongside a male dragonborn with green scales, lounging back with an arm over his eyes. With your approach, the orc grabs his shoulder and he slowly lifts up his arm to peer at the three of you with these irradiated yellow eyes. And he sighs and stands with a broad stature of about 6.5 feet. Somewhat intimidating, except he doesn't really take care. He doesn't visually seem to take care of himself. He has a bit of a gut, and his eyes are very tired looking. And he stretches. Look who came back, more or less. What do I owe this surprise?
Is this Mayor Rufo? Do we get the idea that this is like him now?
Roll insight.
Oh my. Do I have disadvantage because it's wisdom?
Yeah.
No.
My rolls today are pretty low.
You don't remember a Dragonborn being the mayor of this town, but he's acting like he knows you.
I'm sorry, have we met?
Oh,
Who
wait.
are you?
Yip Yap's pretty good at recognizing if someone was a dragon draconic or not. Now Yip Yap's interested in inside checker. May I?
Yeah, insight. You also don't recall the mayor being a Dragonborn. However, the way he is acting and talking, the Yip Yap is pretty sure that this is the mayor, Boofle.
You're appropriating my culture. Wait a second. What's going on here? Wait.
He kind of waves off Yip Yap a small bit, looking to Isaiah. It's me. You should be aware of how intrusive this town's curses can be.
Oh my. So, is this just for today?
I would hope. And he sits back down, kind of waving off the orc woman, who bows her head before leaving the office, and the three of you.
Well, we had come here actually to see if we could take a look at your library again.
Oh, and he looks over to the side where you see empty bookshelves lining the walls. I had those temporarily moved so they wouldn't be damaged during the construction.
Oh, where are they moved to?
They're being taken care of by that witch who lives down the way.
Noid?
Yes.
Well, I suppose we can go see her then.
Alrighty then.
What is all this renovation? What's the cause of it?
Well, I was getting tired of my office also being my bedroom. And after you three left, I decided maybe I should take this job a little bit more seriously. So I'm renovating my dear old dad's mistake of construction.
Interesting. But then the rest of the town?
Well, that's to their own devices.
Yeah.
They all built those homes themselves. If they wish to renovate it, they may.
And it's all just happening at the same time?
Well, I don't know of anyone renovating their homes currently. I know Apostle wants to add an addition onto his tavern, but as I said, that is his prerogative and his choice to do so.
So there's not some town-wide renovation project?
No.
Interesting.
That's
Just seemed coincidental.
Well, we are stuck here for a few days until this caravan arrives. Is there anything we could do to be of service?
Are any of you good at construction?
Borgoth, are you good at construction?
I'm good at destruction.
Then I would like you far away from this place. In the
I'll make
meantime.
Borgoth, it's probably best that you leave. Also, Stephen, I like your shirt. I just noticed what it was.
I've been wearing it this entire series. Minus
I
an
like-
episode or two.
That is the reaction. That is the same reaction when I figured out that Isaiah is actually servant of the Tarlorian. I've been this way this entire season. Only now have you noticed?
I dropped you plot hooks after plot hook, and you ignore them all. No, that's cool though.
I've literally
True.
no. Almost every episode when I'm wearing it, I pop it up at some point if it's not properly in view. Like,
I have no recollection of this. I believe you, probably, but I could be being gaslit on television, and no one would be able to tell.
Need some of that memory enhancing stuff.
Clearly, I need more creatine.
Oh, mercy. Anyway, to the witch's house, I guess.
Where the witch is at?
I think we only have one.
What a witch.
There's two. We're literally looking for one of them.
Yeah,
That's our
we
whole
only
quest.
have one.
I don't know where she is. Doesn't it, like, change every so often?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, so let's try to find Noids.
So, question: how do we summon a witch?
I think we just try to walk there. Do we have, like, because we know how we got to the city from her, or the town from her place.
So, as Isaiah would know it, Noid's hut lives on the same sort of plane as the village. It is never that far away. And you've been able to find it a good few times.
All right, yeah, let's try to find it.
Alrighty then.
Okay. If you all three are going to head out into the forest, could you all roll nature for me, please?
All my rolls are low today.
Oh, yay, it's intelligence. Okay.
All my rolls are low. Today has nothing to do with it.
So it takes you all a while to find Noid's place. When you do, you see that the windows are dark. And when you try the door, you find it locked.
This is the same thing that happened last time.
Yep. Do you want to pick the lock again? Surely
Yip
not.
Yap already has the picks out.
Okay.
No, Yip, don't do that.
Yip Yap's going to burn a. How many?
All that for a drop of blood.
All that for a drop of blood.
Yip Yap will burn his last inspiration. Did I get an inspiration from contributing to the wrap up today?
Yeah.
Is that a yes?
Hey!
So, that's a really good roll.
It's a good joke.
Unfortunately, you don't seem to remember that this was a magical lock on her door. And when you go to try and lockpick it, you hear the click, but then your lockpicking tools disintegrate in your hands.
Oh. Yep, you know what? Let me try.
I'll use the classic spell.
No.
Yip Yap's gonna just.
Didn't you go through the window last time, or did I use knock on the door?
I think you did both of those things. Knock didn't work, and when you looked through the window, things were weird.
Yeah. I remember seeing weird stuff, which is why I knew we got in there somehow. Night! Night!
Yip Yap's gonna just kind of
¿Dónde eres?
fall onto his side.
I'm just gonna sit by Yip Yap. I just pat him on the head. I'm sorry your tools got disintegrated.
After you cast knock, it does that very loud noise, which kind of hurts standing very close to it. The door remains shut.
Well, it seems that my headache is not improving, nor are our prospects of finding these books right now.
We could try to barge the door down.
Perhaps it is an. You know what? Try it, Balgroth.
You know what? Now that you suggested it, I don't want
No, really. I'm sure that you're not too weak and cowardly to get it down.
Don't you try to appeal to my ego to try to run down a magic door.
Listen,
I don't want to disintegrate.
listen.
Again.
I'm sure your dead wife and child will understand that this is just something you can't do.
I'm going to kill you. I promise you. After this is over.
I'd like to take out his like little charm. No, I'm not gonna do that.
Oh,
All right. I suppose if you don't believe the Tellurian can help you, that we may as well just make today a napping day.
I don't want to nap. So how about you call the Tellurian?
To what? Strengthen me to get through the door?
Yes.
It's not how it works, Balgroth.
What do you mean that's not how it works?
Not how it works. I can't just say, "Oh, Tellurian, I'm about to do something stupid. Could you make it smart?"
It's what happens all the time with you.
Beg your pardon.
Dang.
You heard me. And you know I'm right.
I know no such thing, and I know a lot.
Whatever helps you sleep at night. Anyway, we're obviously not going to be able to get through this door.
It's very defeating
And
stuff.
Null isn't and Null isn't answering.
No, Noid.
So Noid isn't answering. That's the whole point. He can't remember her name. And
Michelle.
so the only thing we're going to have to do, I guess, is figure out something better to do. Because
Start a
I'm
forest
bored.
fire.
The only one who has magic powers or flame powers is you.
Yep,
That's not going to be fun for me. That's not going to be fun
You a
for me.
torch.
But that's not fun.
I could cast Dragon's Breath on you, and you could breathe fire.
But what good would setting the entire forest on fire do?
It would be fun. Balgroth, you can't deny it would look really cool.
Yeah, my inner arson would be happy, but what else would we do? Because we're obviously going to have to clean the mess afterwards.
I don't know if it's obvious that we have to do that. You know, we're in retro. We could kill each other, and there wouldn't really be consequences.
Weird suggestion.
No. I mean, like, if anything went wrong, not necessarily you just stab Yip Yap for the fun of it.
Weird suggestion. Not saying no, but I think there might be other alternatives.
A three-way duel, you say? To the death?
Hey, Yip Yap, you want to gang up against Isaiah?
Hold on. Last time that happened, both of you died. And you could say, "Oh, that wasn't really us." No, it was the ones who beat you and imprisoned you. So really,
doppelgangers, and I was half asleep.
they scale quite a bit higher than you if you think about it, Balgroth.
Yeah, no.
For basing it off
Doppelgangers
feats,
can never top me.
they literally topped you before they topped anyone else.
I was asleep.
Sure. I stay woke.
And this is why you will always remain a simp. Anyway.
Listen, I may be maidenless and lack doubloons and ducats, but I'm not a simp, Balgroth. Totally different reason.
Sure. Balgroth starts taking out a large branch and uses one of his swords to just start turning it into a spear.
What are you doing with that?
Just finding something to do.
Fair.
Are you guys gonna go back to town?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Are you sure? You could start a fire. I'm sure that's exactly what she's guiding us towards.
Come on, you little arson.
We set everything on fire and then we fight to the death, but there's no consequences.
Okay, well, with y'all heading back to Retcher, we're gonna take a 10-minute break there.
Okie dokie. What is your thing with everyone fighting to the death?
I was just sort of thinking like, oh, but who get hurt? Actually, it's Retcher, so no one would die really. So we could just like abuse that aggressively.
Technically, I guess.
You know, what with you being allegedly the strongest and most powerful.
Yep.
I'm just saying, if we're going by feats or the lore, I don't know if that's true.
If we're going by feats, bro, put those grippers away.
Boy.
Yeah,
Boy.
have talent. Why so mean?
Are you okay?
Yip yap? No.
How would Yip Yap feel about killing people in a duel knowing they would not really die?
Yip yap doesn't care about ending life.
Unless it's of old age, in which case that's terrible.
Indeed.
Well,
So like
he-
Yip Yap's
He
basically
cares about people who like don't deserve to die just dying when he
Oh, yeah.
doesn't think that it's possible for, people to succumb to old age.
Now hear me out. So he's lived his whole life thinking, if I just like basically like try hard enough, do a good enough job, I'll never die, right? So like I can by my own devices just not die. He finds out about old age. Really, he should continue with his existing philosophy and seek a path to become a lich.
The Lich!
I'm just saying.
Dying's just a skill issue to Yip Yap.
Exactly. He should develop the skills to become undying. I think lichdom is in his future.
Undying, the Undying?
Like, I don't know about becoming undying.
Why should we care about you becoming a giant fish lesbian?
Well, he likes women. He's halfway there.
I think about a third of the way there. Because he's not a fish. He's not really tall.
What are you, like 5'8"?
He's not really tall. He's not any sort of tall.
Well, no, Steven's 5. Yip Yap's like 3'5".
True.
Wait, he's 2'6".
Oh, 2'6".
He's really
Dude
small.
ain't even 3 feet tall.
Wow.
Poor guy.
Yeah, I don't know if thick dinosaurs are into that.
What? Did you say big dinosaurs?
Thick dinosaurs.
Thick, nerdy dinosaurs.
Yeah, thick nerdy dinosaurs with dark secrets.
Who basically just created like living spawns of Satan.
Yeah, no big deal. I'm telling you, Yip Yap should become a lich.
Fall.
Lich Yap. Let's see. Balgroth, you're kind of undead right now.
Yes.
Yip Yap should become a lich.
You just want everybody to be undead except you.
No, I feel like Izaya is gonna definitely like have an Icarus moment in life at some point, but it's not gonna be like something really impressive. Like he'll do something that really should kill him and he'll be fine, but then he'll be like boiling water or something and get it spilled on him and like burn to death.
I just want you to get turned into a gnome.
That could be fun. Like wait, like a garden gnome or like a gnome?
A garden gnome. An actual garden gnome.
Why?
Because it'd be funny.
So, other than a hot minute ago, did I
Actually
right
becoming a
show
garden
y'all?
gnome would be hilarious.
Have I shown y'all my fossil clay model before?
No.
Yeah.
Nice.
Fossil. I made it out of clay.
I'm telling Kyle.
Yeah.
Why are you telling Kyle?
Because he's Sephardic Jewish.
That's hilarious. My friend Ryan's Hasidic Jew, and he'd laugh his head off.
I used to have a dreidel,
Well,
so
Kyle's
I'm chill with it.
Sephardic, not Hasidic. Hasidic's a religion.
Hermes.
So like Sephardic, Ashkenazi. Is there a third? What is there a third major? I don't know what the right word is, so I'm not going to guess. But category of such.
Right.
There's Sephardic, that's more Spaniard.
Yeah,
Jewish.
but there's Sephardic, Ashkenazi. Well, there's another one, isn't there?
There's Ashkenazi. There's a good number.
I'm glad it's not a bad number. That would be offensive. I feel there's another major one that I'm blanking on.
I looked this up. The Mizrahi. That's Middle Eastern and North Africa.
There we go.
Interesting.
Right, Ryan is Ashkenazi. Why in the world did I say Hasidic? I've been talking with Radar too much.
I mean, you could be Hasidic and Ashkenazi.
Nah, he's a Christian. He's an Anglican, like me.
Who?
My friend Ryan.
Oh,
So you're what is it? ACNA?
Yep.
So that is like the Episcopalians like went too far. So then the Anglican Church has like a separate Anglican branch here, correct? That's basically the long and short of that existence.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so then I have a couple of friends in the ACNA.
Yeah.
Now, okay. Does your church ordain women?
No, our parish does not ordain women. The parish that I go to in Montgomery, where I got confirmed, they ordain women to the diaconate, but not to the priesthood.
I see.
Yeah, I probably would not last long if I was under a female priest.
Now let me ask you this: you have a
Sure.
female priest. Do you
Sure.
view her as not a priest or an unqualified priest, like a man who does not meet whatever other qualifications a man might not meet?
By both definitions, you're just saying not a priest. It's just not a priest and then not a priest.
Well, okay. So like if you had a man, right, and he was a drunkard, he would still be a priest, but he would not be like that misses a biblical qualification, right?
Basically, like a priest that falls under discipline.
Well, like I guess like
or should fall under discipline.
Yeah. Or well, I mean, again, there's different ways. So I'm asking, like, do you think of her being a woman? Now, do you think of like a female priest as being like a priest, but like really shouldn't be, or do you think of it as like not really a priest?
I would say not really a priest because that ordination is already, invalid. Because like think about the means of like not only apostolic succession, but the sacramental work that happens within the ordination of a priest. Because you're going to be dealing with whether or not that ordination is valid, and therefore whether or not they can appropriately consecrate the sacraments.
Well, I guess what I'm asking is is it basically because she doesn't even meet like
she doesn't meet the bare qualifications to even be considered.
Right. So then my follow-up is what would be in the list of qualifications, right? And what Timothy or Titus or wherever, what are the bare versus the nice to haves?
I feel like
being
the
a one woman.
husband of one wife is pretty limiting.
Yeah,
Most
being like
people
literally a one woman
believe
man.
that. Well, no, like you don't have to be married in the Anglican Church to be a priest.
I feel like
Right.
the
So I mean,
husband of one wife line is pretty limited.
Well, no,
yeah,
no. Like
yeah.
I
Well, even in the case of somebody who's single, like the term is to refer to a one woman man, sort of man. So it's what how is it how did Chrysostom put it?
I'm not
Um
advocating female ordination, but I'm just curious. Like,
no,
broader
course.
lines with like, yeah.
Of course. Like how does Chrysostom put it? He says that God has restricted the priesthood um in the ordination of the priesthood and the episcopacy. God has completely ousted the entire sex of women and most of the sect of men. Of the sex of men. So it's not only a biblical but a historical thing. And Epiphanius actually points out that if we're going to talk about in relation to qualifications,
Mhm.
who is the woman who is most qualified in all of history who could be qualified as a proper priest or deacon? I mean, priest or bishop. Like, who is the one woman anyone would think of to say, if this person was qualified, it would be her?
I think Sarah was pretty righteous.
True, but who is the one who is the most blessed of all women?
Some would say Mary. No. I
You
know.
mean like the Bible?
You know. I mean,
All
apparently your
generations
breasts
would-
weren't that blessed according to Jesus, but
Oh my goodness. But I mean, like Epiphanius points out that if anyone was qualified for that position, it would be the Mother of God. But God saw fit to hold for Mary to hold the Son of God in her womb, but not in her hands.
now she definitely held him in her hands at some point, right? Like,
I'm
that
talking
definitely-
about sacramentally.
I'm just saying, like, if we're trying to sound deep, we can't say things that are obviously wrong.
Oh, come on. It was pithy and you knew it.
I mean, it's one of those things like sounds so deep when you think about it. It's like, wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
You're telling me Mary never picked up her baby?
You're telling me a shrimp fried this rice?
You mean to tell me she had no authority over her godchild?
Literal godchild.
Yeah.
Wedding
Okay,
of
so-
Cana? Question mark?
So you would say the bare qualification is male, and then
Yeah.
and is Christian a bare qualification, either professing or actual?
Yeah,
Is
professing.
mayonnaise-
Yeah, professing and actual, because even then by implication, because one of the requirements is that he cannot be a new convert.
So,
So
well,
he has
but
to
it's
at least be
sacramental.
converted to the faith.
Like, so let's say you have if you had like a professing Christian, turns out he's not, are all the sacraments
Sure.
he's ever, like, they're not undone in your view?
That would be very difficult for me to consider. Especially not necessarily because of, he's not zapped by the right zapper. Because the sacraments are not nullified by the unworthiness of a minister in relation to like his sin.
Right.
But those would be I wouldn't necessarily call them invalid. I would call them illicit.
Your operata? Is that the right word?
No,
It's not a
not
hot
nec-
second.
not necessarily, because like I deny ex opera operato, because the power is not done primarily in the working of the work itself. The power of the efficacy of the sacrament is found in the work of the Holy Spirit, and even if you're going to go really, really receptionist, the faith of the individual in which the act is done.
Roman Catholicism is my favorite soft magic system.
It is though. It is, because bada bing bada boom is where we get the word hocus pocus from.
Hocus pocus. Are we going back to the game?
I don't know.
Okay.
You tell us.
That's an interesting spell you just cast there.
Right?
You
Are we
know
going
what
back to the game?
verbal components do?
Um. So okay, you three have walked back into town, and it's more afternoon now. And you see more people are walking out and about. You walk past the town hall again where construction has picked back up, and you see dwarves and gnomes doing their jobs, building the thing, tearing down the roof. On the porch of the tavern, you see the same old dwarven couple you had seen the day prior, sitting up, holding hands, rocking back and forth in their squeaky rocking chairs, staring off onto the forest's edge. And kind of in their line of vision, but it's unclear if this old couple is actually watching them, is a group of children have begun playing around the statue of Retroroyum. Can the three of you roll perception for me?
Sure.
Not only can we, but we will.
Let's hope this works.
Literally.
I was about to say I saw that too. I was about to say, is that me? Holy!
Yip Yap is just distracted thinking about where he can steal a set of lockpicks from.
Lockpicks.
Mm-hmm.
Thieves.
With the Yip distracted, Isaiah and Balgroth, you walk past a man you somewhat recognize, and he stops for a second to just look at the two of you before walking along, kind of grumbling under his breath as he walks into a sort of this house down here with a sign next to the door. It says Jupiter's Woodworking.
This isn't the guy that got killed by the girl one time, right?
Extrapolate?
Remember we were in that city and there was the guy and the girl that were gonna kill each other, but the girl ended up killing him, and then I killed her, and then her sister jumped in the fire.
No, that's not him.
Okay. Do we know this guy?
How do we know him?
Roll insight.
Well, you see, he's a friend of a friend.
They say he's just a friend.
Best roll of the night. Worst roll of the night.
Jeremiah, this is the man who had become a werewolf. One of the last times you were in town.
That the guy who turned into a werewolf?
Yes.
And we fought him?
Yes.
And I went prone?
Yes.
And I became a dragonborn? And we beat him?
Yes.
I drowned him in coin!
Oh yeah, he died!
And then we had to help out find his daughter, who was missing.
Oh yeah, his kid. I'm gonna go to the door.
Okay. You go up to the building he had gone into, and you rap on the door. And instead of him opening the door, you see one of his daughters, because he did have two. The youngest opens the door. She looks up at you and she says, "Oh, hello."
Hey there.
Hello.
Is your dad home? I know we just saw him.
Yeah, he's working. Did you want to buy something?
What you got?
Well, he makes stuff for, what's it?
What are you buying? What are you selling?
Drugs.
Communion? No, that's not the right word.
Communism?
No, that's not the right word.
Ah, yes, the means of production.
Construction?
No. And she kind of looks over her shoulder and she says, "Dad, what's that word you use?" And from inside the house, you just hear a very tired, "Commission."
Ah.
And she looks back to you. "Yeah, he does stuff for commission."
What sort of stuff? Anything?
Well, within reason. Like handheld stuff. Nothing really big.
Oh, so he's a carver.
Yeah, she points to the sign that says woodworking. Kind of
Then why are we asking what he did?
I don't know. You'll ask.
I I'm like, oh, I missed something here. I thought it was a woodworking place, but clearly this is like, I don't know what that word means. So we.
Well, I'm sorry.
play
We got
along.
distracted by small child.
Oh,
I'm the dumb one here. I'm just gonna listen to these guys.
Yip Yap raises a claw. Could he make a set of thieves' tools?
I remember you. Oh, that's right. You three saved me.
Yep.
Oh, hi. Yeah.
And
You're
then
welcome, by the way.
was that before or after Daddy turned into a wolf?
After.
After.
Mm. Well, you're
Yeah,
not
I
a
was
wolf
about to
anymore.
ask. Yeah, we were
Oh, that's
sort of
good.
wondering how that happened. Because, yeah, we wanted to see if we could talk with him.
Well, he's busy. Unless you want to buy something from him, he probably won't want to talk.
If he can make me thieves' tools, I'd be more than happy to buy something from him.
She looks over her shoulder again. Can you make thieves' tools? And after a couple seconds, you hear back, sure.
Oh.
And she kind of steps aside so you three can walk in to talk to him.
Now we're talking.
As you walk inside, you see that it is kind of, the interior is a store. It seems to be a living room that has been converted into a small store area, where there is a fireplace off to the side, and where there is a counter like into a kitchen. He is standing behind it, whittling into a small figurine, and he glances up at the three of you. Oh, at the two of you, I guess. And and sighs. Okay. Who wants the thieves' tools?
Hi. This is me.
Right. That would be... Do you want a full kit, or do you want just the lockpicks?
Oh, I still have the case. I just don't have the tools anymore.
Well, I can make that for 5 silver. Please
Okay.
don't shove it down my mouth this time.
I won't. Sorry about that. To be fair, it was like sort of self-preservation.
I understand. I just haven't been able to get that taste out of my mouth since then. And it's not pleasant.
No.
We were meaning to ask. I mean, it's good to, I guess, see you alive, but how are you alive?
Yip Yap instead, he just puts down a gold and says, keep change.
Thanks. And then he sets down the figurine he was working on, and you see that it was a small, like, figure of a bear standing up on its hind legs. It's not quite finished yet, though. And he pulls a smaller block, like a few sticks, and starts whittling at those. I didn't die, because no one does here. I thought that was clear to you three.
How does that work? So does no one die when they're within the bounds of the town?
As far as we know, I don't know how it works. I'm just glad
Not
it
even
does.
from old age.
I think it has something to do with that pool of water underneath the tavern. I'm thankful it's there, obviously, the healing properties and all that jazz. But it's creepy when you think about it. Especially when you've been hearing those stories from Sione about poisoned watering holes or something like that.
Someone's been poisoning the watering hole?
Or wells or something like that.
What's next? Someone's
Naomi?
putting snakes in people's boots?
Do we know that there's this healing water under the tavern? Like,
Yes,
that-
you all have seen the infirmary or have been in the infirmary once or
Yeah,
twice.
or multiple times for Yip Yap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yip
But
Yap
like
from
we know,
blindness.
like we've never seen like a body dipped in water, have we?
Yip Yap was when he was blind.
Yip Yap was submerged up to his muzzle.
Yeah. Honestly, if I had died in Retcher, like I wouldn't be a zombie the way I am now, or undead the way I am now. Thanks.
You don't know
Gabe.
that for sure.
You mean that we can do more experiments since we're here? He
Remember
takes out
the
the Book of
deal.
the Dead or the Skin Golem book immediately.
Remember the deal that I said to you.
What was the deal?
If you try it again, I will kill you.
No, I won't try again. I will succeed.
I will take you out of Retcher and then kill you, and not put you back in the water.
Oh, please.
You will not get in the water.
You know what? I'd like to investigate this water. Yip Yap, come here.
Are you gonna kill Yip Yap?
No.
Close your eyes.
What is it with
I
you
have a
and this?
surprise for you.
What is it with you and this? I'm gonna
Yes.
murder my friends streak.
Before you can do something to Yip Yap, Jupiter speaks up after blowing some scraps off of the sticks. You can't go to the infirmary right now, not unless it's an emergency.
Why
Yip Yap,
not?
come here.
There was an accident a couple days ago. It's full.
Balrog, stand still. What accident?
Some animal came running through the town, trashed a couple houses.
Did you? Does anybody know where it might have gone?
Don't know where it went. Where it came from, though, was definitely the ocean. The fins on that thing? There's no way it's a land creature.
But how
Is
did
it
it
one of
end
those
up?
shark thingies? The Yip Yap breed?
It's not a Vezin, though.
No.
Well, as far as you can tell,
Well, how did it end up in Retcher?
it ran through. I guess it somehow just ended up here like most people do and trashed some stuff, ran away. Seemed angry about something, like it was rooting around the fountain.
I wonder if it was. Does that sound like the? No, the god we fought was like looked like a Vezin, right?
Mm-hmm.
Rooted around by the fountain, you say?
I guess we might take a bit of a peruse over there once we're done.
Well, Yip Yap and I took a peruse over there. We found some things.
Oh, and what did you find and not tell me?
Calm yourself. You were inebriated beyond hope. I found a coin, and Yip Yap found a lot of money, and apparently it was glowing when he was there, but I couldn't get it to glow.
I wonder if it has a reactive thing to Yip Yap.
We were both
Things do tend to react differently around Yip Yap.
true.
Fossil just slowly rotating.
See? So we
That
might
fountain-
need to go check it out and investigate.
Yes.
That fountain is weird. It's always been weird.
What weird things have you encountered?
Me personally? Well, one time, my daughters like to throw coins into it, wish for things, child stuff, you know? For a while, those wishes came true. Nothing bad happened. They wished for little, like, you know, kid stuff. I was happy for them. Ice cream. My youngest had a pony for a while until eventually we had to give it to Samara because we couldn't
Mm.
take care of it. And then there was another time where the water turned purple for a few days,
Mm.
and it tasted really good.
Was it wine?
No, it wasn't alcoholic. It just tasted good. I couldn't tell you the flavor off the top of my head. It just tasted good. Anyway, and he kind of brushes off some of the stray wood and dust and hands Yip Yap a pair of wooden lockpicks. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. You know what? I think we should reinvestigate the fountain. I have some new experiments I want to run.
Alrighty then.
I'd like to go back to the inn and get some of my stuff.
All right.
And I would like to first see what happens if I put my octopus back in the fountain.
You grab what's his name? Sebastian.
Sylvester.
Sylvester. You grab Sylvester. You put him back in the fountain, and he very happily swims around that like centerpiece for a while before curling himself around it and staying down there.
I would then like to take the dragon egg and put it in there.
It doesn't really react in any way, but Sylvester does start latching onto it and tightening his grip on it.
Without damaging Sylvester, I'd like to start to freeze the water around the egg.
Okay. Not much really happens.
Okay.
It still has that. It's had this sort of glow to it for a few days now, but it doesn't get any brighter or dimmer.
Balgroth, can you sense any good or evil about this fountain?
Let me check. I used my divine sense on it.
Okay. Remind me exactly how that works?
I put it in the chat.
Yeah, is this real?
Cool. Person strong evil. So you can tell that this is some. It's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
It is good. It rings as celestial to you. Not the fountain as a structure, not the water in of itself, goodbye Dale. But this area around the fountain has the vibe of something that is celestial.
Something is heavenly about this. Not necessarily about the structure of the water itself, but it's affecting everything else. I'm not sure what it is. And I guess Balgroth just begins to start pacing around, sort of getting a feel for a sort of radius of how far this celestial presence goes. So how wide is the celestial aura?
I would say about no God. I hate doing this. There we go. About like that.
Okay. So why is this spot so important? Uh,
Are there any ceremonies you can do?
let me see. Hmm. Let's see. I'm not sure. Nope. I could see if the Tellurian has any information on this. And so he sort of begins to kneel and beseech the Tellurian, seeking wisdom.
You don't have. Do you have divine intervention?
Let me see. Divine intervention. Is that what you seek? To untie apprehensions that were placed on that
Council of
Greek.
Priests.
Nope. I don't think so.
Okay, roll a religion then.
Okay. You were playing with thunder for a man full of shame, but if he's worth the risk of going under. I'm gonna re-roll that.
You got it.
Dang it.
You got it.
I'm gonna go with the first one.
Mm-hmm. There's no solid message for you.
Hmm.
There's a sort of push and pull feeling happening around this fountain the more you focus on this sense. Because you never found the fountain particularly interesting before.
Right.
But looking at it now and focusing, you realize two things. Visually, the fountain is not built onto the ground. It seems to be either under, more so, or had come up from the ground in some way. The earth around it is pushed back and sloped up to meet the bottom part of its walls. And the second thing you notice is this mental nagging that this has nothing to do with the Tellurian, and it could be much bigger than the Tellurian.
He begins to chase that thought.
Roll either religion or history. Okay. You meditate on this. You remember some of the things you were told when you were being taught under the Tellurian. And you remember that there is a sort of hierarchy among the Deus in this world.
Mm-hmm.
And that the Tellurian is one of 8 deities that split into 4 groups are under life and death, respectively.
Mm-hmm.
Under that, or on top of that, is the essence of creation itself.
Mm.
You don't know what this fountain has to do with life. You don't know what this fountain or what this town innately has to do with life and death. But this fountain has never destroyed anything. It only seems to create things.
It only seems to give life.
Are you
I think
relaying any
you
of
had.
this to the other two?
Yeah, I begin to tell this to Isaiah. There seems to be celestial power radiating not simply uh, from this fountain.
Hmm.
It seems to have come up from the ground, as if creation itself manifested it. And it seems to be part of the life-giving properties in this city.
Interesting.
Well, that makes sense. Ah, radiant is from underground. We're from underground. All life comes from the underground. Uh,
So you're saying we all come from dwarves?
no, we just all come from, under the ground.
So we're all plants. Okay.
No.
If I didn't
You
have
know,
a habit,
I'm
I would
I'm
after you.
I'm
Well,
teasing you.
like,
Yep, yeah.
have you ever like dug around in the ground and you find worms? Life just appears in the ground.
Oh, okay.
Or and like that, life comes from the ground. It's eaten by other life. And when that life dies, you look at it and there's more life there. There's raw meat, there's maggots if you leave it too long. Or flies. It just happens. Life comes out.
I might be a paladin of the god of nature itself, but I think you're a bit too crazy for me there, bye.
That's fine.
But okay. So what do we do with this? My immediate thought was to, dig down, but I don't want to disturb this plot of like life itself, it seems.
Why?
Yes. Well, I'll dig down. Um, and I would like to. Where is it? I'd like to start doing my best dwarf impression and digging a hole.
I am a dwarf and I'm digging a hole. Diggy diggy hole. Diggy diggy hole.
I
Big Doug?
So you're making a 5-foot deep hole.
Well, I'm doing it multiple times, and yeah,
How many times are you casting? Like, how many times are you casting this spell?
I'll cast it twice to start, just to see if there's anything 10 feet deep.
Where are you putting the
Isaiah,
dirt?
use dig.
I'll start digging here.
Where are you putting the dirt?
Oh, put in the dirt here, next to it.
All right. You dig 5 feet down first, and there's nothing. It's just kind of normal dirt, rocks, things like that. You go down another 5 feet, and the dirt shifts in hue from this sort of light brown, darker, to this reddish clay.
Interesting. Balgroth, do you sense anything down here?
I stick my hand down to scent it.
There's nothing particularly interesting happening in the hole.
I pop my hand back up and shake my head no.
So, like, it stops below ground?
The fountain?
The sense of
The
celestial energy.
divine power.
Oh, that's what you were sensing.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'd misunderstood that. I'm sorry.
There you go.
You can still kind of sense that, but where Isaiah is standing, it's kind of tapering off.
You're gonna need to get closer.
So it's tapering off where I'm digging?
Yes. You're probably gonna need to get closer, like closer to the fountain.
I see. Well, I guess now that I'm 10 feet down, I would like to do like 2.5 feet towards the fountain at the bottom.
Okay.
Or even like do it slanted. It is never a good idea to dig straight down.
Yeah, sure.
Might be lava.
You don't want to hit lava, or much less bedrock.
Right.
So Isaiah, you kind of slant in your digging towards the fountain, and you move away the dirt, and there are stones that don't match the fountain's foundation or the stones of any of the buildings around here. There's not many. It's not like there's a wall of stones. There are just stones in the dirt.
Are they magical?
2 of them, in eyesight, start to crack along. And from one of them, a flogant, well, at first, a pool of ink that forms into a flogant at your feet before flying out of the hole. The second one, a very bright light before a creature that's kind of hard to make out flits around you before you feel a bite on the back of your neck, and it flies out of the hole as well. And Balgroth and Yip, you see these creatures fly out of the hole.
I try to grab the flogant.
Roll to hit? Grab? I don't know. Roll to grab.
What would that be? An unarmed strike, I guess?
Yeah, sure. Unless you want to like backhand it with your sword. I don't know.
Does the 13 hit?
You, as it flies out, you can see it coming up the tunnel, so you're ready to grab it. And you do. You'll grab onto it and kind of, you end up squeezing a bit too tightly in your attempts to keep it still, and it pools out of your hand in ink before creeping up your arm, reforming as a flogant, and flying away.
Balgroth, what just bit me?
I don't know. What just flew out of my hands?
Do I feel funny after having been bit, or is it just
No.
like something?
It like for a second, it felt as if you had been pricked with a pin needle, but there's no itch, there's no irritation.
I don't suddenly like want to do weird stuff.
Nope.
I guess I'll keep digging, like just trying to sort of. I'm going to sort of be digging around what I imagine to be like the outer foundations of the fountain.
Okay.
Yip
You
is
see
just
more of
wa-
these stones.
Yip is just watching all of this, just experiencing.
All right. You see more stones as you dig around.
Do they turn into stuff too?
No, they don't seem to do anything. And you end up making this. You end up just making this hole a lot bigger.
So they start to. Okay.
And there's a huge pile of dirt.
It's a cup with dirt in it.
Call a cup of dirt.
I'll explain it.
It's a mug.
Interesting. Well, Balgroth, you sense anything down here now, or anywhere?
I'd probably have to go into the hole.
Yeah.
Come down.
I
Come
reluctantly
on
go
down.
I reluctantly go into the hole.
With Isaiah and Balgroth in the hole, Yip Yap, that Flogant, and the little sparkly thing that you saw fly out of the hole, they're still around in the air, and they start fighting each other in the air aggressively. Like the bird is trying to rip this thing in half while it is trying to stab something into its body. Isaiah and Balgroth, the divine sense, it's kind of mulling the further you go down.
It's
And
fading.
you're just ending up with this nothing feeling.
It's weird. At once I felt life. Now the only thing I feel is the emptiness.
Do you feel anything above ground now?
I'm trying to. It's mulling down. I think it might be time to head back, I guess.
So these things are just fighting in the air?
Well, you can't see them. Yip Yap can.
Right.
Well, that's interesting. What a strange fountain. I should probably put the dirt
Indeed.
back eventually. I'd like to dig towards it to see if I can clear out dirt.
Towards the fountain?
I mean, I would only be able to move dirt, so if it's like stone, like a actual stone, like it would not. I couldn't.
Yeah. It starts to become harder to move things out of the way.
All right, then you know what? I'm gonna hop out of the hole and fill it back in.
Okay.
Once Balgroth gets out.
I
No,
get
just
out.
hurry.
he sees Balgroth get out, and he's wearing a black coat to ward off the darkness.
Mm.
So, what do we see when we get back up top?
Just as you get back on top and fill the hole, both creatures fall into the fountain. The Flogant disperses into this inky puddle, and the mysterious light creature flickers and fades until all that's left of it is something like a pebble sinks to the bottom of the fountain.
I'd like
I
to
reach down and
examine
grab the
this
pebble.
hole.
You're both reaching for it?
Yeah.
Alright. I'll say Isaiah grabs it. And as you reach into the water to pinch it and grab it up, it turns into a powder and dissipates into the water.
So wait, which of them won, or did they both kill each other?
They ended up both falling in the fountain and dying, as far as
But
you can tell. As far as you can tell.
But only one became a pebble.
And the other, yes, and the Flogant just became this inky cloud in the water.
Okay. We'll call it a draw.
Huh.
So what happened here? Balgroth sort of begins to wave his hand through the water.
I don't know. Perhaps we disturbed something.
It seemed to me like a primordial fight between light and darkness.
It ended in a draw, which is not very encouraging.
Well, one cannot have one without the other. Even a brightest light can cause darkest shadow, right?
I'd rather not have like aggressive active darkness in existence if it's all the same to you.
I'm not saying I don't agree with you. I'm just saying.
Well, I suppose it's time to bring Sylvester and my future dragon out of the fountain.
Sure.
I'd like to
Lest
grab
they
them.
get corrupted.
Actually, can I try to get a vial of this Flogant goo?
You managed to get a good bit of it. It's kind of mixed into the water. It doesn't seem to have its own viscosity anymore, but you get a little vial of it.
Excellent.
With that, we're going to end the session for the night, and I hope that we can do it next week. I don't know for sure, but I'll let you know. And I hope you all enjoyed playing.
Yeah.
And I'll see you next week.
Boy.
Bye.